Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Beaches Tow trial stalled again due to absent jurors. The trial of Everton Beaches Tow McDonald, the Portland businessman accused of killing his wife Tony in 2020, failed to get off the ground in the Home Circuit Court on Thursday morning due to the absence of two jurors. Mr. McDonald and his co-accused Oscar Barnes are charged with murder. The court was informed that both jurors number 3 and 4 had to seek medical intervention. The trial is scheduled to resume on Monday. Last week Monday, a jury was impaneled and began to hear testimony from one of Mr. McDonald's former employees, but the next day the court was told that one of the jurors had financial constraints and was unable to attend. Last Wednesday, another juror expressed his inability to continue due to overseas engagement. The entire jury panel was subsequently dismissed from the case. On Monday, a new jury panel comprised 3 females and 4 males was impaneled. NCB St. Anne fraud case amount increases to over $28 million. The $22 million fraud uncovered at the St. Anne's Bay National Commercial Bank NCB branch in January has increased by $6.6 million. The fraud amount rose after detectives found that US $44,000 was also swindled from another customer's account. Cadine Thomas, a former NCB wealth advisor who was fingered in the matter, was as a result stopped with 8 additional charges of breaches of the Larceny Act, Forgery Act, Proceeds of Crime Act, and Cybercrimes Act. The 35-year-old was stopped with the new counts of fraud charges after leaving the St. Anne's Parish Court, where the matter was mentioned and a new date set for December 13. Thomas' $5 million bail was also extended. The accused, who was a wealth advisor at the St. Anne's Bay NCB branch, was initially charged with larceny, authoring forged documents, forgery and breaches of the Cybercrimes Act in relation to US $143,000. This was reportedly transferred from a customer's account. 2 additional charges of authoring false documents and larceny as a servant were later laid against the accused. Attorneys at law Matthew Hyatt and Bert Samuels are presenting the accused. More than 1,000 murders recorded so far this year. More than 1,000 murders have been recorded in Jamaica so far this year. That's according to the latest crime statistics compiled by the Police High Command. According to the data, the country recorded 1,028 murders between January 1 and Tuesday of this week. This is 136 less than the 1,164 homicides recorded over the corresponding period last year, representing an 11% reduction. The data showed 732 people have been injured in violent attacks since the start of the year. St. James continued to lead the country in homicides with 144 murders. St. Andrews South recorded 93 murders, Westmoreland 91, St. Catherine North with 86, and Clarendon 83. 13 of the 19 police divisions are seeing a reduction in homicides and shootings. The police are probing 293 cases of rape. Most of the rape cases has been recorded in St. Anne Division with 28, followed by St. Catherine South with 25. St. Mary have recorded 350% surge in rape cases this year, with 18 up from 4 cases recorded over the similar period last year. The High Command is reporting an overall 13% reduction in major crimes recorded this year. It says the security forces have ramped up operational activities across the island over last week, targeting gangs, wanted suspects, and illegal weapons. 3 men were fatally shot in police operations in Westmoreland and Holobra, St. Catherine on Wednesday. No let up for murderers. In the wake of the 7 people being killed in the last 72 hours, Justice Minister Delroy Chuck is again making a case for harsher minimum sentences to be imposed for people who commit capital murder. During on the Tuesday morning quadruple murder in Riversdale, St. Catherine, in which 3 women and a man were killed in a house, and the triple murder in Grand Spain St. Andrew on Sunday, in which 3 men were shot at a construction site, Chuck said it is because of incidents like these that several bills dealing with minimum sentencing for murder are being reviewed to send a strong signal to criminals. Among the proposed changes set out in the 3 pieces of related legislation is a mandatory minimum sentence of 50 years for capital murder. Describing the Murderous Act as real outrageous behavior, the Warchuk stated how people can deliberately take it on themselves to go and shoot up people. Just 2 nights ago, 4 people were killed, and that is a deliberate act. It's the same that happened in Grandspin on Sunday, whether it is revenge or retaliation or just heartless behavior, the Justice Minister said. Chuck, who was during the meeting of the Joint Select Committee reviewing the various mandatory minimum legislation on Wednesday, said he was pleased that the perpetrators were apprehended within a couple of hours and expressed hope that others involved in the call incident will also be quickly nabbed. If these criminals, he said, could be quickly apprehended and convicted and the appropriate sentencing, then people would feel that justice was done. It takes too long for justice to be complied with, and that is a problem in our country. But once they are found, and especially if the evidence is strong to get them convicted, I think the country is calling out, and we can't ignore what the country is calling for, severe penalties, and that is why these bills are before us, he said. The proposed changes being considered by members of the Joint Select Committee include amendments to the Offences Against the Persons Act, the Criminal Justice Amendment Act, and the Child Care and Protection Amendment Act 2023. Amendments to Section 31B of the OAPA would increase the minimum sentence for 15 years to 45 years. Whereas capital murder has been committed, the mandatory minimum sentence to be served before being eligible for parole moves from 20 years under Section 53, 1CA to 50 years, and under Section 42F of the Criminal Justice Administration Act, the term of years to be deemed as life imprisonment increases from 30 to 50 years when the offense committed is murder. Under the Child Care and Protection Amendment Act 2023, it is being proposed that children convicted of murder serve a mandatory sentence of 20 years in prison before becoming eligible for parole. Chuck said that while the committee has heard the submission of the various contributors including Jamaicans for Justice, which suggested rehabilitation and consideration of the overcrowding of the prisons, his view is that once they are found, evidence is compelling and they are convicted, the state should impose the strongest penalty. He stressed that people have been asking for the death penalty for capital murder, which is still on the statute book, and while he hopes the country does not resort to that punishment, the alternative must be severe. Chuck stated, another possibility is life imprisonment with a high level of minimum mandatory. What is being proposed is the bill of 50 years, and to be frank, once it's capital, we have to send the signal very clear that person has been a menace in society and therefore should be locked away for a very, very long time, even to the extent of life. How low we go, we must consider. How we start out at 30 years, to be fair, persons have suggested 25 years. Should we go there? The point we're making is that the capital murder, we must be as severe as we can. For non-capital murder, I feel we could be less severe and allow the court a wider discretion, he stated. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and